You are tuned to the Indraprasth channel of Akashvani. In our English Talks tongue tonight, we now bring you a talk entitled March of the Nation by Dr. Guntasha Tulsi.
Hello, friends. It is my privilege to talk about India and its achievement in different fields and positioning in the League of Big Nations. The Indian subcontinent has historically been one of the most socially, culturally, and geographically diverse regions. Its cultural diversity and plurality has made it stand to the test of times and create standards in harmony, civilizational greatness, and mutual coexistence of linguistic variations. Indian territory assumed the status of a nation state in the year 1947, and since then, its ethos have been synonymous with the constitutional ideas of sovereignty, socialism, secularism, democracy, and republicanism. As a nascently born nation state, the country withstood the critical challenges of famines, food based shortages, political instabilities, and linguistic and ethnic strife. It also set new standards in international cooperation, as was displayed by its military prowess and strategic mastery in international conflicts through the decades of 1960s to 80s. By the late 1980s, and with the advent of color television and increasing popularity of the Janata Party, a new spirit of critical scrutiny made inroads into federal politics and mainstream sensibility of the nation. Well, a new India was on the verge of arriving. With the year 1991, India opened its gateways to the spirit of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, also popularly known as the LPG reforms. With the beginning of this journey, India continued to display examples of resilience, cultural innovation and inventiveness, regional cooperation, and territorial coexistence. The impetus to a new cultural idiom which relied on fusion of tastes and an incentivizing impact of the West became visible. Global deals in multimedia technologies ensured the presence and sustainability of broadcast giants, which foregrounded a new modern language and creative expression amongst India's young brigade. The diversification of communication and technology also created platforms and enhanced excellence and brilliance in performative aspects of India's film, music, and food industry. A growing distinctiveness of Indian films highlighting its unique cultural positioning and social standing, popularity of Indian cuisines, and individuality of India's music industry began to create an international reputation for the country, which transformed its earlier status of being considered a land of snake charmers and mystical illusions. The birth and growth of Indian merit came out to be truly exceptional and ranged across a spectrum of wide fields, from cricket to food to music to films. Legends and inspirational figures such as Dhirubhai Ambani, Sachin Tendulkar, Shah Rukh Khan, Aishwarya Rai, Sanjeev Kapoor, or Sonu Nigam reflected on the newly emergent Indian consciousness and its vitality. In the political and economic sense as well, the Indian nation state charted its story of greatest success as the Indian currency became stronger, reserves became fuller, and both the demand and supply of the Indian manufactured goods only expanded. The demand of India's homegrown technological expertise abroad led to greater levels of immigration and settlement, making Indian diasporic communities indeed one of the most popular and constructively global communities. During these decades, the popularity of Indian culture and its complex social and political situation was also communicated efficaciously by the superlatively emerging Indian literary writers. Writers such as Arundhati Roy, Vikram Seth, Anita Desai, Amitav Ghosh, Rohinton Mystery, and Jhumpa Lahiri spun tales of nostalgia, reflections on the current situation, and urgency of issues of political, social, and human interest. India's landscape of the 90s also became a witness to great success stories in the field of social justice. While the newly implemented system of reservations post Mandal Commission made the Indian employment and educational scenario diversely eclectic and relatively egalitarian, the general political and cultural space was characterized by an increased sense of scrutiny and critical dissent. In the new millennium, and with the advent of the 20th century, the Indian landscape witnessed a massive infotech revolution with increased usage of internet and social media dominating every aspect of people's lives. India's successful experimentation with coalition politics has only led to a balancing of interests, with the new millennium heralding immensely successful policy initiatives such as the RTI, Magnarega, RPWD, etc. There has been an expanding sensibility of the Indian media, leading to transformation in urban landscapes and creating new narratives of social inclusion. The experience of especially dealing with COVID-19 pandemic in the last 5 years has manifested the ability of Indian government to deal with the most unexpected contingencies of the gravest nature. The country's ability to mobilize its medical and human resources to cater in needs of such emergencies will stand tall in putting forth examples of community consciousness and people to people solidarity. The government of India has been majorly instrumental in launching of schemes like the Jan Dhan, Niti Aayog, Ayushman Bharat, Make in India campaign, Swachh Bharat Mission, Atal Pension Yojana, Digital India Mission, Startup India, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, Ujjwal Yojana, Skill India, National Digital Health Mission, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, amongst many more. These have ensured that there be an overall focus on health, education, social service benefits, and overall well being of individuals, along with sustainability of story of growth of the nation. Rightfully so, India in the last 2 decades has continuously enhanced its national and international reputation and made its presence felt amongst key regional and international blocs. In addition to being a pivotal member of international bodies like SAARC, the United Nations, G20, BRICS, etc., India today is witnessed as a major exemplar of interfaith dialogue, peace, and harmony. Under the present BJP government, led by our visionary Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, India continues to showcase record economic figures and spin stories of great success in all spheres, while also having secured an international reputation which glorifies its role as one of the most powerful regional players and an extremely sustainable political and cultural ally. It will not be an exaggeration to say that its present day record achievements in the field of energy, investment, space science, technology, and culture industry has truly made it a force to reckon with, while also investing on its shoulders immense critical responsibilities for the future. Thank you.
March of the Nation. You just heard this talk by Dr. Guntasha Tulsi. This talk came to you over the Indraprasth channel of Akashwani. Please stay tuned in for our next program.